Woke up today, my mind a whirl from head to toe with endless feeling. Try to explain just what I see. You say to me I must be dreaming.
To anyone who watches YouTube and is interested in music, Jacob Collier will likely need no introduction. His virtuosity and technical skill in music theory have given him the aura of a prodigy. Even his casual and amicable demeanor seems to reflect a level of wisdom and experience that defies his young age of only 25. These perceptions are well justified in at least one respect. He is, undoubtedly, extremely talented at music. He can play more instruments than can be counted on two hands, he can sing in a dizzying variety of styles, and he can compose songs with mind-bendingly complicated and dense harmony. He was born into a family of musicians, and has been developing as a musician for virtually his whole life, which is blatantly evident in virtually everything he does. For the unbelievable depth and breadth of his musical ability, there seems to be little other way for him to properly make use of it than to make the sort of music he has made. And that music, fittingly, embodies the artistic philosophy of maximalism. You can think of maximalism as the polar opposite of minimalism. Instead of saying less is more, the maximalist says, no, actually, more is more. Maximalism defines Jacob as a musician, even apart from his music. His technical abilities and knowledge of music theory give him an unimaginably huge bank of ideas and sounds to draw on, and that is apparent in his music. He blends many genres, plays many instruments, uses complex and esoteric chord changes, and most prominently, constructs intricate, multi-layered harmonies which push the very limits of his digital audio workstation. Everything about most of Jacob Collier's music screams more is more, which leaves the question, is it really? I'm not the first reviewer of Jacob's music to point out that just because you can do something does not mean that you should. This is perhaps the most succinct and effective critique of maximalism that can be made. The general error of the maximalist is to conflate technical proficiency with artistic proficiency. The fact that they are not equivalent can be heard, to me at least, in listening to Jacob's music. Some of his most touching compositions are the simplest and most straightforward, while those which attempt to cram as many modulations as possible into a given time unit are at best enjoyable as a pure display of his musicianship, but at worst they fail to resonate emotionally and they are just tedious to listen to. The bottom line is this: technique should serve art, not the other way around. There have been countless geniuses who have employed their mastery of theory and technical ability to produce beautiful music. But their goal was ultimately to produce such beauty in their music, and their technical abilities were merely instrumental to that end. Jacob Collier, in my opinion, is using his technique as the ultimate end of his music. And it's no wonder why. If I had that sort of talent, I wouldn't know what to do with it either. The maximalist aesthetic which he conveys is a natural consequence of his abilities, because from some perspective, it would seem like an embarrassment of riches to squander such abilities by failing to use them. The problem, however, is not that he uses them, but how he uses them. He will have to learn how to be more discriminating with his employment of his skills. Perhaps a 3-part vocal harmony, for example, will be sufficient to serve the purposes of the song. It is a truism that limitation can draw out greatness in artists of all sorts, not least musicians. I hope Jacob will take that lesson to heart.